Hello friends, welcome to GCA. Hope you all are doing good. So today the video is regarding India-Bhutan relations, and before this I have made a number of videos on India's relationship with major countries like US, China, Pakistan, Russia, France, etc. If you want to watch these videos, the link is available in the I button. So this video will be in crisp form where I will cover timeline of events followed by areas of cooperation, then the importance of Bhutan for India, the challenges, and finally the way forward. So again, without wasting any time, let us start. So India and Bhutan have cordial relations from last many years, and both the countries have shared deep religious and cultural ties, and Bhutan happens to be the all-weather friend of India, and both the countries share a special relationship, and this special relationship has been sustained by the tradition of regular high-level meetings and the dialogue between both the countries. And Bhutan was one of the first country to recognize India's independence, and India shares a total of 699 kilometers border with Bhutan, and it is the largest trading partner of Bhutan in the region, accounting for 98% of its export and 90% of its import. And India remains influential over Bhutan foreign policy, defense and commerce, and Bhutan is the largest beneficiary of India's foreign aid. Then in 1949, both the countries signed a treaty of friendship which called for peace and non-interference in each other's internal affair. However, Bhutan has agreed to let India guide its foreign policy. Then the occupation of Tibet by China brought both the nations even closer, and in 1958, the then Indian PM Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he visited Bhutan, and where he reiterated India's support for Bhutan's independence, and later he declared in the Indian Parliament that any act of aggression against Bhutan would be seen as an aggression against India. Then the period of 1960 saw major increase in India's economic, military and development aid to Bhutan, which also embarked on the program of modernizing its armed forces to bolster its security. And since 1950, Bhutan has repeatedly made effort to assert its independent identity and has expressed its desire to reduce its dependence upon India. And even during the Indo-China War of 1962, the Bhutanese king had declined to offer a base to Indian troops, and despite good relations, both the countries did not complete a detailed demarcation of their borders. And although the relations remained friendly between both the countries, but the Bhutanese government has always expressed its need to renegotiate the parts of treaty to enhance Bhutan's sovereignty. Then it slowly started to assert an independent attitude in foreign affairs, firstly by joining the UN in 1971, then by recognizing Bangladesh, and finally by signing a new trade agreement in 1972 that provided an exemption from export duties for goods from Bhutan to third countries. Then the diplomatic relations were established between both the countries in 1968 with the establishment of Special Office of India in Bhutan, and from the period of 2003 to 2004, the Royal Bhutanese Army conducted operations against anti-India insurgents, for example the United Liberation Front of Assam, that were carrying out attacks on India by operating from the bases in Bhutan. Then in 2007, the Treaty of Friendship of 1949 was renegotiated and a new Treaty of Friendship was signed. The new treaty replaced the provision that required Bhutan to take India's guidance on foreign affairs with broader sovereignty and not require Bhutan to obtain India's permission over arm imports. Then in the subsequent year, the then Indian PM Dr. Manmohan Singh, he made a visit to Bhutan, and he expressed strong support for Bhutan's move towards democracy, where India allowed 16 entry and exit point for Bhutanese trade with other countries, and has agreed to develop and import a minimum of 10,000 megawatts of electricity from Bhutan by 2021. So let us now discuss the areas of cooperation. So the first is economic assistance. So India has been consistently supporting the socio-economic development of Bhutan by providing economic assistance since the early 1960s, and hydropower cooperation is among the key sector between both the countries. The other areas include agriculture, irrigation development, health, industrial development, road transport and education. And even for the 12th 5-year plan, India's contribution was Rs 45,000 crore, which constituted 73% of Bhutan's total external grant. And for Bhutan, the hydropower development continues to be the vital catalyst for the socio-economic development. For example, the 4 hydroelectric projects constituting 2136 megawatt of electricity are already operational in Bhutan, and they are supplying electricity to India. And another 720 megawatt hydroelectric project was commissioned in August 2019, and 2 more, one of 1200 megawatt capacity, and second of 1020 megawatt capacity are already under the stages of implementation. Now talking about trade between both the countries, India is Bhutan's largest trading partner, and major export from India to Bhutan are mineral products, machinery, mechanical appliances, vegetable products and plastics, and major imports from Bhutan include electricity, Portland cement, dolomite, timber, food products and potatoes. Then talking about the area of education and cultural cooperation. So India is the most popular educational destination for Bhutanese students, where almost 4,000 Bhutanese students are enrolled in Indian universities, and many of them are receiving scholarship which are provided by the government of India. Then there are vibrant cultural exchanges between both the countries. For example, number of Bhutanese pilgrims they travel to holy sites in India, mainly the Buddhist sites. Then about 60,000 Indian nationals they live in Bhutan, and they are mostly employed in hydroelectric power construction, and in addition there are around 8 to 10,000 daily workers who enter and exit Bhutan every day in border towns. Then talking about the military cooperation, a 2000 strong Indian military training team is permanently based in western Bhutan to train the Royal Bhutanese Army and other regular units of Indian Army. They cooperate with their army, and over the last 5 decades, Project Dantak of the BRO has built around 1600 kilometers of road, and the other completed projects of BRO include airfields, helipads, telecommunication networks, broadcasting station, river works, schools and colleges. Then in April this year, troops from India and Bhutan they participated in joint military exercise along with the countries like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and observers from USA, UK, Russia and Singapore. And also the Royal Bhutanese Army does not have a navy because it is a landlocked country, and neither it has a air force. So Bhutan's air protection is provided by the Eastern Air Command of Indian Air Force. And during the 2017 June Doklam standoff between India and China, India claimed to have acted on the behalf of Bhutan because of its special relationship. And Bhutan is a part of India's neighborhood first policy, which is basically a policy focused on cooperation and the needs and the requirements of neighboring countries. For example, in 2014, PM Modi chose Bhutan as its first foreign destination, where he inaugurated the Supreme Court complex and further promised investments in the IT sector of the country. And both the countries are founding members of SAARC, and also they are part of multilateral forums, for example BIMSTEC and BBIN, that is Bangladesh, Bhutan, India and Nepal. And even during the COVID pandemic, India provided full support to Bhutan by facilitating supply of both essential needs and other goods, including the industrial raw material. And India also facilitated the movement of people who wanted to return to Bhutan. And in January this year, India sent free doses of COVID-19 vaccine to Bhutan. Now let us discuss why Bhutan is important for India. So the very first reason is location. So because of the geographical location, Bhutan acts as a buffer state between India and China, and it protects the Siliguri corridor, that is the chicken neck, and further protecting the northeastern state for India because it shares border with the 4 northeastern states, which are Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, West Bengal and Sikkim. Then another reason is to contain insurgency in the northeast, because over the years there are various anti-India groups that have used the bases from Bhutan for carrying out attacks on India. So therefore it is important for containing insurgency. And another is to check Chinese inroad in Bhutan, because China is interested in establishing formal ties with Bhutan, and it is strategically important for both the countries. And China territorial claims in western Bhutan are close to Siliguri corridor, so that is why it is also important to contain China. And Bhutan is also central to India's 2 major foreign policies, the Neighborhood First policy and Act East policy. And Bhutan is the only neighbor of India that has not been a part of Belt and Road Initiative of China. And since the 1990s, Bhutan has repeatedly turned down the Chinese package that offers bigger territorial concession to Bhutan in return for the Doklam area. So let us now discuss the challenges. So although both the countries they share strong bond, but there are several issues which needs to be addressed for maintaining good relationship. For example, in 2013 there was a case when Bhutan was engaging in close diplomatic relation with China. So after which India withdrew all the subsidies on cooking gas and kerosene, which caused a dent in relations between both the countries. And this was the first time when the elections were due in Bhutan. So therefore India were seen to have been interfering in Bhutan's internal politics, and this led to the negative perception of India in the minds of Bhutanese. Then it is argued that the economic benefits from the collaboration in hydropower projects have declined, and there is a growing feeling in Bhutan that India's development of hydropower production in Bhutan is driven by self-interest as it is getting Bhutan's surplus power at cheaper rates. Then China is another area of contention with who is trying to establish its influence in Bhutan, and it continues to stake claims in important areas like Chumbi Valley and Dhoklam. Then Bhutan is also willing to have deeper diplomatic relationship with China in the areas of tourism, education, culture and agriculture. Now let us discuss the last part of the video, that is the way forward. So Bhutan plays an important role in India's foreign policy, and it is the only neighboring country that is still not under the influence of China, so which make it strategically important for India. But if steps are not taken to improve ties with Bhutan, then it might get exploited by China to strengthen their already dominant position in South Asia. So certain steps are needed, like the aspiration of the Bhutanese people must be considered before making any economic and political decisions about Bhutan, and also the steps must be taken to maintain long-standing diplomatic relation by not interfering in their internal politics and economic decisions of Bhutan. Because if these are not done, then there is a possibility that China may take advantage of this situation. So therefore there is a need for both the sides to work together on this issue, and being neighbors, it is necessary that both the countries should continuously recognize value of each other, and for this the regular high level visits from both the sides are necessary. So friends, this is all about today's video, and I hope this video will be beneficial for you, and I have tried to keep this video as short as possible. So till then, keep learning, keep watching and keep supporting, and best of luck for your upcoming interview. Thank you and Jai Hind.